All right. Hey, welcome to a training for Elite Performers Mastermind. And this is Brent Conley. And welcome to our channel. And this will be all over the internet, all over YouTube and social media. So all the agents can start getting trained by one of the best agents in the business. The real estate business, Scott Marlow. You know, I've known Scott for, I think right around 18 years. Scott's been in the business 22 years, I believe. And he's one of the best prospecting agents in the country. And this has been going on for way over a decade. And matter of fact, almost 2 decades now. Scott was my first role play partner when I was learning scripts a long time ago. And he invited me to a mastermind, and we were sitting in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're surrounded by all these top producers in this mastermind. And I was just starting my career in sales at that point. I was a licensed agent for a couple of years, kind of trying to figure things out. And Scott kind of brought me in to the prospecting world. And then his skill set now is, just 1,000 times better. That he handles objections and even handles tough personalities at times, including myself, because I'm one of Scott's clients. So I was flipping homes. I got to tell you the story. I was flipping homes in Scottsdale. I had 4 flips going on and like $3 million worth of hard money on these flips. And my cash flow was getting crunched, right? And so if anybody's been flipping homes, you guys will understand if you kind of leverage way too much. And I needed something to sell quicker than my budgets allowed. And so I was like, Scott, we had an offer on one of the properties, and he started using the same scripts on me that on pricing objections and accepting an offer. And I knew he was right. I was fighting him on it, and he handled the objection. And I think what I told him at that time, this is like 3 or 4 years ago, like, Scott, I know what you're doing. You're using the same scripts as I learned. And I paused for a second. I'm like, okay, you're right. Lower the price. So I know it works as Scott's friend, as his business partner and such. I have so much admiration and respect for this human. And you guys are in for a treat. We're going to do a role play session for FSBOs today. We'll follow it up by doing expireds and some of the stuff, all the knowledge. I'm trying to pull all the knowledge out of Scott's head and share it with the world. And I think you guys are going to benefit greatly for that. So Scott, thanks for doing this call for everybody. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
All right. So first off, are you winning this week?
Yes. Yeah. Took a $1 million listing this week and doing some lead follow-up now, and looks like 2 more next week. So, and those are all FSBOs. So
awesome.
Doing what I'm talking about. So
that's fantastic. All right. So I'm going to give you the floor, and why don't you start off where let's educate the viewers right now on a little bit of your experience of how to get in the mindset of starting to learn this style of communication, style of real estate. And so the audience can get tremendous value out of these calls. So the floor is yours.
All right, awesome. So yeah, everybody, just real quick about my background, then we'll get into the role play. I did not want to be in sales. I did not want to prospect. I did not want to cold call. It was the last thing I wanted to do. My personality type, I was very quiet. I was kind of introverted. My job before real estate, I was doing computer consulting. I was kind of a nerd. I would hide in a cubicle and email everybody. I didn't want to call anybody. I wanted to avoid confrontation, right? Then I got my real estate license, and I was fortunate. I sold a house my first week in the business because I bought a classified ad in the Arizona Republic here, right? And I was in my real estate training class for my broker, and I sold a house like during the training class, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! You actually sold a house your first week in the business." And I literally bought a classified ad in the Arizona Republic. It was like $300 or $400 to run that classified ad over the weekend, and then I sold a fixer-upper house. It was like a $25,000 house. And then the commission on it after my broker splits and everything, because it was a 50-50 split for my first couple deals, it was like a $500 commission and a $300 classified ad. And so I made like $200 and I was being celebrated, but I was like, man, it's not really much money, right? And so that was the first thing I learned is, advertising be great and all, but I didn't have a massive budget, and whatever you sell, whatever you make, you have to really subtract the cost of advertising out of it. And I was being celebrated and treated like this big winner, but I was like, man, I made $200. I wasn't really that happy with it, right? And then a week or two later, one of my really good friends bought a house from me, right? He bought a house from me in Gilbert. It was a $169,000 house, which was good, and that was like a pretty decent sized house back then, 22 years ago. So I've got 2 sales, right, in my first like month in the business. One was from advertising and one was from a friend, right? So then you run out of best friends, right? Or you run out of friends that are going to buy with you, and no one was coming to me, and I didn't have the budget to keep running ads. So a month went by, 2 months, 3 months went by. And finally, I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I had some good savings from my job, but I was going through it, right? We're going into like 6 months with 2 homes sold, and one of them I made like a couple $100. The other one I made like, I don't know, after it might have been like $2,000, but it was not enough to survive. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I was forced into this path of prospecting. So my broker at the time, he gave me a Mike Ferry script, a FSBO and expired script. And it had been copied several times, all grainy. If you can imagine something that's it's been copied like 100 times. You have a copy of a copy of a copy. And I grabbed this script and I started calling for sale by owners, and I was terrible at it. I was like, just wasn't going well. I was getting hung up on. I didn't know any objections. All I had was the script. And so luckily what I did was I went off to a Mike Ferry event that was happening in San Diego. I drove from Scottsdale to San Diego to Hotel Circle. And I went to this event where they taught us how to use the scripts, right? There's all these things with upswings and downswings. And there were these people on the stage, and they had given me a cassette tape too, and they were so good at it. They were like ninjas, right? And so I thought, man, if I could ever be like these people on the stage, I could like really make some money here. And it was just my goal from that point on that I'm going to be like these people on stage. And that's what I've been trying to do really for the last 22 years. So I joined Mike Ferry Coaching. I give Mike Ferry and his organization a lot of credit for where I am today. I have changed quite a bit of what I do, kind of change the script a little bit because it works better for me, but that's kind of my path. And the reason I tell you that is a lot of people that I talk to are like, oh, I could never cold call. I could never. How do you do that? How do you pick up the phone and call people you don't know? How do you go to a stranger's house and convince them to give you $30,000 of their equity, right? I could never do that. Well, I was forced to, right? It was either that or not be in real estate anymore. So I changed myself into a salesperson, into a skilled person on the phone and a skilled person in people's houses at their front or at their kitchen table. And you can do the same thing. I did it, you can do it. I was scared, I was introverted, I did it, and you can do it. So that's a little bit of my background. If you look at a lot of scripts that are out there now, I love Mike Ferry and he's the GOAT and everything, but the script he has, in my opinion, is way too long for 2024. I think it has 12 or 14 questions on it. People do not want to stay on the phone very long in 2024. So Mike's script worked well when I first started doing it in like 2002, 2003. It was fine. People would stay up, but there's so many distractions now, right? That people get notifications on their phone. When you're calling them, they're at the gym, they're picking their kids up from school, they're doing or dropping them off at school because they do a lot of calls in the morning. Like they're distracted, right? And every phone call, every contact is precious right now. There's also not as many FSBOs as there used to be. A few years ago when I was doing this, there'd be like 10 new FSBOs to call a day. So we were very fortunate. I did all of my business with FSBOs because there are so many to call. Now, in my price range, in my market, there's really only like 1 or 2 per day. So every single call and every single for sale by owner that comes up is like precious, right? I don't want to waste time asking them 14 questions that they're not really ready to answer yet. I'm just another realtor dude calling them. They're rolling their eyes. They're in their life, at the gym with the kids, driving. They're at work. Everybody's working from home now. I'm interrupting one of their Zoom calls or whatever, and I'm just trying to get in and out, set the appointment as fast as I can on the phone. So what I did was I converted all those 14 questions down to basically I'm trying to get the answer to 3 questions. And then I am presenting my service as the solution to what they're looking for. So the 3 questions that I'm trying to get the answer to are where, why, and when. I want to find out their where, why, and when, which is their motivation for moving, right? Once I know their where, their why, and their when, then I'm presenting my service as the way to get them what they want and a way to make them more money and make the process easier and make it easier in that process for them. So I'm basically asking them what they want and telling them I can get it for them in an easier way and make them even more money. And it's really a mindset thing. So like I was going back about my background and everything and thinking, oh, I'm a salesman. They're not going to want to talk to me. I'm bothering them. That's not the mindset you want to do this, right? That'll make you say, it'll make you scared to pick up the phone. My mindset now is these people need my help, right? These people, the analogy I used the other day is like if you, I saw this video the other day and it was like I think it was like a baby deer or something that's caught on a barbed wire fence, right? And it's stuck in this barbed wire fence and this guy's got these wire cutters and he's going to like cut the deer out of the barbed wire fence and let it go. But the deer is like kicking and clawing and not wanting the help, right? That's the way I see for sale by owners. And I see myself as the guy with the wire cutters that has the way to let them through. So sometimes they're angry when they call, right? You're the 100th agent. I hate agents. You guys are worthless. You make too much. You get all that, right? But you're the guy with the clippers, right? That's going to get him out of the barbed wire fence that he's trapped. He doesn't know that he needs your help, but he does. And so that's the attitude I come with is like, I need to help these people. And then it makes you want to pick up the phone because I do not want them to sell the house on their own because in my mind, my mindset is they're going to lose money. I will make them more money than they will selling it on their own. I believe that with a passion. I've seen it happen. I track a lot of them that don't list with me and sell on their own. I'll track and God, I could have got that guy like 50 grand more or whatever. And they're going to get screwed on inspections. They're going to, and even if they do sell it at a decent price, it's going to be a bumpy process, right? They're going to take some loan pre-qual that's 90 days old from Rocket Mortgage and wonder why they're not qualified anymore or whatever, right? And so that's my mindset is I need to save them from selling it on their own. And I need to save them from getting a crappy agent, right? There's so many crappy agents out there. And I'm like, it's my responsibility to help these people from themselves so they don't sell it on their own and they don't get stuck with a crappy agent. They don't list it with a flat fee company that's just going to put it on MLS, overpriced with crappy pictures, and then it's not going to sell.
Yeah. I just lost a FSBO here the other day to that. They hired a MLS entry only. And of course they're overpriced, like 50 grand and all that stuff. So I see what you're saying there. And so basically to sum up that analogy, a FSBO is like a blind baby deer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, they have no idea that you're the right agent for the job of selling their home.
That's my favorite joke. I love it. Yeah.
You like that one, Scott? Woo!
I love it. Yeah. You've heard me tell that one a few times. So what, if you want, we can get into the role play now and I'll kind of go over kind of how I do a regular call. Do you want to be the seller and I'll be
sure. I'll give you a hard time on it too.
All right. Sounds good. I like it. Okay. So
right, great.
Ring.
Hello.
Hello. I'm calling about the home for sale on Oak Street. Is this the owner?
Oh, yes, it is.
Hey, my name's Scott. I'm a local real estate agent. Hey, I'm working with a lot
we're not hiring a real estate agent. I'm selling by owner.
Oh, cool. You're selling by owner. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw the home here posted on Zillow. Hey, I was just wondering, I work with a lot of buyers and sellers in the area. And I was just wondering, how can I help you?
If you have a buyer, bring them on. I'm willing to pay a 2% commission.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's a very generous offer. And I'll definitely keep it in mind for any buyers that I have. Thank you for that. And let me ask you, if you sold this home, where would you go next?
You know what? I don't really have to sell. I'm just thinking about selling right now.
Okay. So you're thinking about it, but if you got your price and stuff, would you stay, in the Scottsdale area here, or would you maybe move out of state, or tell me, what are you thinking?
No, if I get my price, then I think I'm going to move to Boise.
To Boise? Wow, that's awesome. What's taking you to Boise?
I'm wanting to retire and have 4 seasons, and yeah, I think it's going
Okay,
to
so you're
be a
gonna.
good move someday.
That sounds awesome. So you're gonna retire up to Boise, be in the Four Seasons, be in nature and the mountains and everything. That sounds awesome. Very good. So how soon would you like to be in Boise?
I don't really have a plan.
No, no plan. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. If I could show you a way how I could help you get to Boise with even more money in your pocket, even after you paid a commission, and we could get you there, say by the end of May, would that be something you'd be open to taking a look at?
Yeah, if you got a buyer, go ahead and bring them by.
Okay, well, I want you to know I don't have a specific buyer for this property, but what I do have is a plan that can actually net you more money in the sale and get you to Boise with even more money in your pocket, even after you paid a commission. If I could get you to Boise and you could picture yourself, right? You're there. You're there in the Four Seasons where you experiencing that nature and each of the Four Seasons like you want. If I could help you get there and show you a way to do it with even more money, is that something you'd be open to talking to me about?
Yeah, but I don't see how you're going to do that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
selling for sale by owner because I don't want to pay commissions, and I think I can sell my house myself.
Absolutely. I can appreciate that. You know what? I have no doubt you can sell it by yourself. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures right now. It looks like an amazing home. But I guess my question is, if I could actually show you a way where with my marketing experience and my marketing program that I have, I could actually sell the home for you and make you even more money while you're selling it for sale by owner at the same time. Is this something you'd be open to?
While I can sell it myself at the same time?
Yeah, we could both work together. So you could sell it for sale by owner while I have it listed. I'll bring you buyers and I'll bring you offers, and we'll look at the net sheet. And if I could bring you an offer where the bottom line number is the same or greater than what you're looking to get, and it gets you to Boise, so you can be in those Four Seasons and do it by say, yeah, like a month and a half. I mean, is it something you'd take a look at?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me.
Great. I'd like to come by and just take a look at the home and show you a little bit more about how I can do it for you. I've got time today at 2 p.m. or is today at 4 better for you?
Yeah, I'm working today, but I'm doing an open house tomorrow at tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 5.
From 2 to 5. All right. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. What if I stop by a little early right before the open house? Would you have time about 1 o'clock right before the open house? So what I don't want to do is bother you as a bunch of buyers are coming in, but could I come by maybe at 1 or 1:30 before the open house gets started?
Yeah, I've got to set up. So it probably takes me half hour set up. So I've got about 15, 20 minutes at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. 1 o'clock. I look forward to seeing the home and getting it on the market and actually helping you get to Boise with more money in your pocket.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I'll see you then.
Click. All right, good job. I love how you're repeating and affirming every decision. There's no conflict. Like you're disarming the seller from conflict, and so I think that's really important as you're having conversations with there. So tell me your thoughts on selling it for sale by owner while you are marketing the property. You're trying to get a listing agreement signed. And if you get that signed, how do you fulfill that commitment? Because it sounds absurd, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a technique that one of my mentors taught me a while back. And basically, I take a listing, they sign the listing agreement, and most listing agreements, they have the blank lines on the last page or the second to last page. And we write in verbiage that just basically says, if they sell it for sale by owner, bring their own buyer that's not represented by a realtor, they have the option to either walk away and owe us nothing, or I'll hire my transaction coordinator for a flat fee. I say $199. My TC costs more than that, but I like $199 because it's cheaper than most of the flat fee companies that we're talking about before. Those usually cost $400 or $500 or more. So in their mind, they're thinking, oh, $199, that's even cheaper than these flatfeelisting.com or whatever they're going to use. So that's why I picked $199. I've taken over 250 listings with this verbiage in it that they can sell it for sale by owner while they have it listed with me. And over the past I've probably been doing it like 5 years. Guess how many people have sold it on their own while it's been listed with me?
How many?
0.
0.
Happened 0 times. Now people have canceled the listing or decided not to move or whatever, but they've never sold it for sale by owner while I've had it listed. So,
yeah, that's amazing.
And it works really well with for sale by owners that are new. I like to call them when they're brand new, like their first day that they list online on Zillow or forsalebyowner.com or any of the other sites. When you call a brand new FSBO, the biggest objection I get is not that they don't want to pay a commission, it's that they want to try it on their own for a little while before they list it with an agent.
Right.
And so that's why I love that objection handler and that putting that verbiage into the contract so much is like, hey, yeah, you can try it. Yeah, you don't have to stop trying while you list it with me. Let's both work at the same time, because it sounds like you really want to get to Boise, right? I mean, wouldn't you want to get to Boise now? I mean, it's springtime. Wouldn't you want to be there for the spring? And then you could see it go into the summer in Boise so you could experience those seasons. I mean, wouldn't you rather be there now instead of waiting another month or two to even try to put it on the market?
Sure. Okay.
And you can still sell it for sale by owner while you're with me. We'll both work at the same time to get you there as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's great. I think that strategy is fantastic. And so my next question, how are you, and maybe we should do another video on this, but I would say touch on this right now. When you're on the listing appointment and it's the first week on a for sale by owner, that first week, typically for sale by owners are wanting to try another 2 or 3 weeks. Is that objection coming up again? I would assume it would be.
Yeah.
And then the commission objection while you're on the listing appointment. You want to talk about those two things?
Yeah. So yeah, it does come up. They always want to keep trying it on their own, and I'm just reiterating. I'm going back to their where, why, and their when, right? And I'm going back to their motivation. And it might sound kind of mean or whatever, but I'm using their motivation against them.
Right.
And I'm using myself as the path to get them what they want. So as soon as I know, if it's to be close to the grandkids or, something with family or job promotion or something like that, I'm happy for them. If it's something sad, like a divorce or someone's passed away or something like that, I'm doing it more like, hey, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me take some of this burden off of your hands. And at the same time, I'll actually be able to put more money in your pocket for you and your family and the other heirs or whatever it is, right? But I'm just going back to their motivation, and I'm not really beating them down on list this with me, list it, sign. No, I'm not. I'm like, hey, I really want to help you get to what you said you want. I really want to help you get to Boise. I really want to help take some of this burden off, or you said this house was too big now, and it's too much to clean, too much to heat, and too much to cool, and you need to get in a smaller condo. I mean, let me help you do that. I mean, do you really want to be cleaning this and heating and cooling this big, huge 4,000 square foot house for another 2 months? Or what if I could help you do that? Get you an offer this week, and we could get you out of here in a month instead of waiting a month or two to even try. Wouldn't that be better? So I'm not pounding them hard. I'm not like closing them like maybe I was taught by past trainers. I am finding out their motivation, and I am just like, hey, I'm the guy to help you get whatever you want, right?
Right. Well, and I think, with your personality, being amiable personality, and like 70% of the people out there are amiable personality. And so a driver personality like mine and we were taught, right? So we already have driver personality, and we were taught to close, right? And we're almost creating more friction, and you have to really be aware of that. So when I was role playing years ago, I'd bulldoze through the conversations. I was hugely successful because I didn't care what they said. I was going with the next script, but I got better with empathy. And one of my friends said, hey, Brent, you got to start being empathetic to the other person's situation. This is calling expireds or FSBOs or whatever. And adding the empathy is so important because it helps disarm them. And you're really good at that, Scott, as you're not allowing emotions or personality to overcome that intention on helping that for sale by owner. And I think kudos to you. And that's one of the reasons I believe that you're one of the best in the business for calling them, because you have that empathy, you're calming, and you're just disarming all of those objections using thought and using words that really makes you a ninja. So congratulations on that.
And like I said, there's not that many for sale by owners anymore like there used to. When there's 10 a day, you could afford to burn some bridges and just take whoever whoever would say yes after you close 7, 8, 9, 10 times at their front door. But now there's one a day. And like I said, every FSBO is precious now. So I don't want to burn that bridge. And that's kind of why I've shifted to this, asking them their motivation and making me the path to their motivation, because there's not as many as there used to be. And even with expireds, yeah, there's more, but there's wrong numbers. They're getting a ton of calls. It's harder to get into an expired's door in my opinion, it's way easier to get into an appointment with a for sale by owner than an expired, but it's harder to get the listing signed with the FSBO than it is with the expired. So yeah, I just don't want to burn the bridge.
Yeah.
And I want them to see me as the path to their motivation.
Yeah, that's great. And for the viewers out there that are learning how to do this or trying to improve, and you're already listing FSBOs, becoming the path, as Scott has said, is the key to success, right? And causing friction on a FSBO or an expired is only going to get you so far. Because, if you take the personality styles, they're going to want to make sure that you're out the door, and then they're never going to talk to you again if they're amiable personality, right? They're going to agree with you. Oh yeah, you're great. This happens all the time. And then they're going to go silent. And I mean, that's typical. And so if you're disarming, you're calming, you're going to stand out just in that manner, and professional as well, dressed professionally, and making the intention to help them, not necessarily just get the listing signed. So yeah. All right, cool. Well, anything else that you want to go over before we end the call?
I just like to go back to the mindset, right? For those of you that are thinking, I could never do this, like, you can do it. You can change yourself, and you can build this skill just like you can learn to golf or learn to ski or whatever. So do not let that mind block of I could never cold call stop you, because it's worked for me. I changed myself. So go out there, try, reach out to me if I could ever help you, role play, or, I'm here to help. So
that's great. Hey, Scott, so I know that you're in Scottsdale, Arizona. Your website is scottfromscottsdale.com. Remember that, folks. I think it's awesome. And you send him a referral. I hear he's going to send you a hat that says scottfromscottsdale.com.
We can do it. We can do that. Yeah. I'm happy to help.
All right. I appreciate you doing this call for everybody. Thanks a lot, Scott.
All right. We'll see you.